Forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding an offence, lets go of negative emotions, and forswears recompense. It is a human quality that everyone learns throughout their life. Buddhism and Judaism both heavily rely on forgiveness, playing a major role in their teachings and scriptures. Judaism teaches that because humans have been given free will, they are responsible for their own actions. Ideally, a person who has caused harm needs to sincerely apologize. Then the wrong person is religiously bound to forgive. However, even without an apology, forgiveness is considered a pious act. This quote portrays the act of how forgiveness is communicated in Judaism. The month of Tishri, Yom Kippur, considered the most important holiday in Jewish faith, marks the 10 days of awe, a period of introspection and repentance that follows Rosh Hashanah, known as Judaism's High Holy Days. On Yom Kippur, God decides each person's fate, encouraging Jews to make amends and ask forgiveness for sins committed during the past year. The holiday consists of a 25-hour fast and a special religious service, and is ended by the blowing of a shofar. This quote conveys the significance of the day and informs the precedences of forgiveness and restoration of sins. Symbolized through wearing white as a symbol of purity and repentance, Yom Kippur originated from Israelites' exodus from Egypt and arrival at Mount Sinai, where Moses received tablets of the Ten Commandments from God and broke them because the Israelites worshipped a golden calf, which they atoned for, and God forgave them and offered new tablets. Buddhists believe that forgiveness is a critical step to achieving a peaceful life and mind. Buddhism doesn't see us needing forgiveness for sins against the Supreme God, or the necessity of trying to model our own actions on God's mercy. Instead, removing unhealthy emotions that would otherwise cause harm to our mental well-being. Hatred leaves a lasting effect on our karma, and forgiveness creates emotions with a wholesome effect. Buddhism questions the reality of passions that give rise to anger through meditation and insight. These teachings and practices are a part of Buddhist everyday life. After examination, we realize that anger is only an impermanent emotion that we can fully experience and then release. The Dalai Lama constantly reminds his followers to forgive one another, and he has communicated the importance of this with an address over 3,000 people in Ireland. He spoke about the power of compassion, love, forgiveness, and tolerance, and said these are the cornerstones across all religions. He said he had made promoting the human values of compassion and forgiveness his lifelong commitment. This quote alludes to the fact that everybody makes mistakes, and to forgive them we must acknowledge and take responsibility for our fault and sins, and not to blame others for our wrongdoing. While Buddhism has no real concept of receiving atonement for God, Judaism makes a clear distinction between receiving forgiveness from a person one has wronged and receiving forgiveness from God.